For the final, you will have a 1 questions. That is from chapter 3. What do you need to study for the chapter 3? First, you guys need to know how to find the mean, standard deviation, and the variance. And you need to know how to solve all your work. Means like you want to use the formula, plug in the data to find out the answer. Don't just use your calculator, okay? Second part, you need to know how to find the z-score and determine the data is going to be usual or unusual. And also the percentile. If I give you guys the data, you need to know how to find the percentile, or I give you the percentile, you could find out what is the data, okay, percentile or quartile. Okay, you will have a 1 questions from chapter 3. It doesn't mean I will cover everything from here, but this is the study guys. You guys need to know how to do those parts. And you will have a 1 questions that is from chapter 4, the probability. You guys can review the chapter 4 homework or the sample midterm or the midterm. I already posted the solutions in Canvas, so you should be able to find out the midterm 2 solutions. For example, okay, you may have a similar questions like that. Review the midterm 2 solution. This is from chapter 4, or chapter 4. And for the probability, I have the requirement that, let's say for this kind of the questions, please state what are you looking for. The probability of, for these questions, we are looking for the person over 40 years of age. So that's why I write it down, probability of over 40 years of age. Show me your work and the final answer. Your final answer should be using the decimal, not in the fractions. And pay attention how many decimal space I'm looking for. Okay, this is for chapter 4 probability. Okay, one more time. Write it down what you are looking for, show me all your work, and also the final answer. Okay, so this is a chapter 4. Review the sample midterm and also the midterm 2. And you will have a 1 questions that is from chapter 5. Either you will have a probability distribution, or you will have a binomial probability distribution. Okay, again, review the sample midterm for chapter 5 and also the midterm 2. Okay, like this one. For the chapter 5, if you have a binomial probability distributions, you want to write it down what you're looking for. If you're using the calculator, show me are you using the binom PDF or binom CDF. What data you plug it in and also the final answer. If you guys using the formula, so write it down what is your NCX, what is your P, what is your Q, and show me all your work with the final answer. Again, pay attention for the decimal space here. How many decimal space I'm looking for each questions. Okay, so this is a binomial probability distribution, or you may have probability distribution, just like these questions. Same idea, write it down, probability of what you're looking for, show me your work, and also the final answer. So this is going to be the chapter 5, either probability distribution or binomial probability distribution. And you will have 1 questions from chapter 6. Review the sample midterm for chapter 6 or the midterm 2 for the chapter 6. You may have a similar questions like number 8, number 9, the uniform distribution or normal distribution, or either the number 10 and 11. Okay, similar questions are like that. And all those questions I request draw the density curve for each questions. Means I want to see this picture. Okay, what you are looking for. If I'm looking for the area less than, or if I'm looking for the area in between, show me all those words. Okay, you could use the calculator here, normal CDF or inverse norm, show me what numbers you're gonna plug it in and also the final answer. If you guys using the formula, feel free to use the formula, but show me all your work with the formula. Okay, so this is gonna be the chapter 6, either uniform distribution or normal distribution. And you will have one question from chapter 7. I may ask you guys construct the confidence interval or determine the sample size. Okay, review my solutions here. How do I find my critical value? Show me all your work for the margin of error and construct the confidence interval, and also how to write your conclusion. Okay, this is the confidence interval, and this part, question number 2, this is determine the required sample size. Keep in mind that show me all your work and 1 to the next whole number for the sample size. Okay, even though you got 26.01, you still get 27 the sample size. So this is gonna be from chapter 7. You'll have a 1 questions on it. It can be construct confidence interval for proportion, mean, standard deviation, or variance. Okay, especially for the question number 3 here, you could see when they given the sample standard deviation, okay, S is given, you will use the T distribution, not the Z. Okay, many students mess up in this part in the midterm too. Okay, you will have a 1 questions from chapter 8. The hypothesis testing. For the hypothesis testing, it can be work with the proportion, the mean, standard deviation, or variance. And I want you guys keep in mind, review the method. We'll be using the p-value method or critical value method. You guys need to know both of the method. If I'm specific, use the p-value method, you have to use the p-value method to draw the conclusion. If I say use the critical value method, then you have to use this method. I want you guys pay attention with the critical value method. For the distributions, you have to show me your test statistic and also the critical value. Okay, this is the critical values and this is going to be the test statistic. Where is your test statistic located? So this is the critical value method. And for the test statistic, I will specific use the formula. Okay, if you skip the formula, you only get partial credit. Show me the formula and your final answer. When you draw the conclusion, you have to state the reason. You can't just put like reject or fail to reject. If you're using the critical value method, state that test statistic is in the critical region or is not in the critical region, then reject or fail to reject. Review the conclusion, that will be the section 8.1, the 1, 2, 3, 4 conclusion. Please write it in complete sentence. Okay, I don't want to see like the dot 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 from here or dot 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 from here. I need complete sentence. And for the p-value method, you're gonna see p-value method only show me the test statistic, and this is the area for the p-value. Okay, so this is gonna be the chapter 8. Review the chapter 8 summary practice and also the midterm 3 solution. You will see the midterm 3 solution under the midterm 3 here. You're gonna see that's a solution A, B, C. You guys have a different form of the midterm. You will have the same idea for the final. You have a different form of the final. Okay, and then you will have 2 questions from chapter 9. Okay, 1 questions from chapter 9. You need to know how to do the hypothesis testing again using the p-value method or critical value method. Okay, and that's another 1 questions that is from chapter 9. You want to know how to construct the confidence interval. And for this part, I want you guys use the formula to show me all your work. You could review midterm 3 solution. For chapter 9, make sure stay which one is going to be your population 1, which one is going to be your population 2. For confidence interval, I need to see something like this. How you find the critical value, use the formula to find the margin of error, and construct the confidence interval. Again, show me critical value, use the formula to find the margin of error, and then construct the confidence interval. So you have 2 questions from chapter 9. Okay, one is hypothesis testing, one is a confidence interval. Okay, 1 questions that is from chapter 10. And for the chapter 10, you need to know how to do the hypothesis testing for the linear correlation coefficients. You may want to use the p-value or critical value method. Okay, that's from the chapter 10. And that is 1 questions is also from chapter 10. You need to know how to find the regression equation and how to apply the regression equation. This question is similar to the sample final in the chapter 10, the last 2 questions. You need to know how to use the calculator or formula to find the R, how to use your formula or calculator to find the regression equation, and how to apply it. Remember, you need to find the p-value to see reject or fail to reject. If that is a linear correlation, you may want to use the regression equation. If not, you want to use the mean value of the y. And you have 1 questions from chapter 11. That will be from session 11.1. Okay, I may ask you guys to do the hypothesis testing for equal expected frequency or unequal expected frequency. And 1 questions that is also from chapter 11. That will be the session 11.2 about the contingency table. You need to know how to use the p-value method or critical value method. Okay, same idea for the section 11.1 here. Okay, use p-value method or critical value method. Then last one, that's a one questions from chapter 12. That will be from session 12.1. Okay, again, use the p-value method or critical value method. For the chapter 12, you will see the question similar like this, and I will provide the table like here. If you guys watch my video lecture, you should recall that I teach you guys two methods to find out the variance between samples and the mean of the sample variance. Either using the table and find it out, or you could just use the calculator. If you guys use the calculator, you don't have to fill it in here. Just strictly using the calculator, find it out, the sample size, the K, the degree of freedom of numerator, degree of freedom of denominator, and also the variance between the samples and the mean of the sample variance. You could check using your calculator without using this table. Okay, that's up to you guys. As long as you show me all this correct answer, you get the credit. And chapter 12, you may need to know how to either use the p-value method or the critical value method. So the distribution will be using the F distribution, and F distribution is also skewed to the right. Okay, so total we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So total you will have a 13 questions, and that will be 125 points. Okay, when you guys in Canvas, you're gonna see the final in here. I already post all the formula from chapter 1 to chapter 12. Feel free to use all those formula on your final. And also you will find the F distribution, the chi-square distribution table there. If you guys using the table, feel free to download it and print it out. For the final on that day, click on it. You're gonna see this is the instructions. The file is including 13 questions and require file upload. You may need a calculator for this exam. You have a 4 hours and only one attempt. Within the 4 hours window, you need to print out the file or write your answer on a piece of the paper, then submit it as one PDF file. Once you submit the file, please go to the grade and double check if you submit the file successfully. Let me show you guys how to do that. Let's say I'm gonna click on take the quiz. You will see you only have a one questions in here. You want to click on it and then download it. Okay? You want to download this file. And after I download it, I could just work on it or write down your answer on a piece of the paper. Make sure you're gonna rename the file. Has your first name, last name, and put it like final. Okay? And then I'm gonna upload it. Click on choose a file. Okay, this is my final. Click on it, open. So you could see your file has been successfully uploaded. And then I'm gonna click submit. Okay, so you could see I already have a one attempt. After you're done, you could click on the grade. Okay, this is my final exam. I'm gonna click on it. So you could see, I could double check. I see my file is already uploaded. Okay, this is gonna be my file. Okay, make sure you attach the file. If you forgot to attach it, or you make a mistake, you may get 0 on your final. Okay, double check on it when you click on the gray in here. Okay, so review all the midterm 1, midterm 2, midterm 3 solutions. Okay, that's all for my review session, and good luck.